Community service meeting call to order. Could Councilman Callison, would you bless us?
Our most kind, gracious, and righteous Heavenly Father, dear Lord, I thank you for this opportunity and privilege to call upon your name in prayer. Please be with us as counsel, dear God, as we conduct the Cherokee Nation's business, dear God, in a manner that would be pleasing to you and that would be prosperous and pleasing to our people, dear Lord. Help us to do the right decisions. Help us to make those things and those tough decisions that we have to make. Be with us, forgive us of our sins, lead us, guide us, direct us, give us safe journeys home. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Shelley, give us a roll call when you get over there, please.
Darrell Legg,
Who'd she say? Did she, oh, here. She said Jolene or something.
Melvina Shot Pouch, Keith Austin,
Here.
Danny Callison,
Here.
Julia Coates, Sean Crittenden, Joe Deere, Mike Dobbins, Rex Jordan, Johnny Kidwell, Wes Snowfire, Dora Petzkowski, Joshua Sam, Mike Shambaugh, E.O. Smith, Condessa Teehee, Victoria Vasquez. We have a quorum.
All right. You've also received the agenda. Can I get approval for the minutes? All right. All in favor?
All right.
Reports, we have Jennifer Kirby, Human Services.
Good afternoon, Council. You have our monthly report for January. If you have any questions or anything that I can answer for you, I'll be happy to do so.
We have any questions? Dora?
Yes, Jennifer, I believe in January there was a program that you all had sent letters out to, was it New Home Construction, where they got the offer for the 50,000?
I believe that was Jerry.
Oh, I'm
Yeah,
so
Housing
sorry.
Authority,
So
yeah.
sorry. I'm with the wrong person. Never mind.
We have any questions? Go ahead. Councilman Crittenden.
There's snowball fights going on, everything this weekend, and Jennifer bailed us out on one, so thank you and your staff. Appreciate it.
Sure, absolutely.
Melvina?
I don't know if it's any problem in other districts or not, but the grave digging, has anybody approached you about that?
We've heard in Delaware County,
County,
yeah, that there is, you know, it's really one of those things that we are going to have to look at, consider all the options. You know, for our the indigent burials, it's not ever been an issue before getting those covered because the county did cover those. But that is something that we're looking at, and we'll be discussing that.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else? Speaker?
Actually, I'd talked to several people in Human Services about this, them refusing to cover burial costs. But I did talk to the DA, and I did talk to the acting county commissioner, and they said they still do indigent, but none else. So whether it's going to be have to add on to our burial assistance to include that, I know that the funeral homes can get somebody to dig a grave for $500. So maybe if that's part of the package, you know, on our burial assistance, maybe we could get it for $400 or something cheaper if that is included in like Lawson's, Wasson's, whoever's doing one, if that's included in their burial package, that might be one way to address that. So, but as far as indigent goes, they will still do those, but nobody else.
Okay.
Anyone? Go ahead, Sean.
I'm out of the loop on that deal now. So county's refusing to dig graves. What's the deal now?
So the opening and closing of a of a grave is not included in our burial contract with, what we currently offer and what we have contracted for our standard burial assistance.
Through the funeral home?
Right. There is a county that is doing for indigent, which would be those that do qualify for the burial assistance have always been considered indigent families, can't.
That do
Wouldn't have
qualify.
any, yeah, wouldn't have any other way to cover a burial. Now, that's kind of, I guess, maybe why it hasn't full-blown hit us is because, most of ours do fall in the indigent category. However, I don't know if the families are kind of pulling together on all the other burials that are happening, out there. I don't know if all the families are covering the cost, but anyone that didn't fall in that indigent category is being charged anywhere from $400 to $600 is kind of the gauge that we're getting to open and close a grave. So the counties used to cover it, but they don't cover it anymore.
Okay, all right. And
That's my understanding of it, unless anyone has any other insight.
my initial reaction when I heard that was, we got pretty good relationships with our county commissioners, or we should,
Don't
So
make sense.
I'll be willing to work with them. But thank you for getting me back up to speed on that deal.
Councilman Deere.
Just curious, what is that indigent line, like, amount?
I would have to get you the details on the guidelines, but it's basically no resources would qualify for our burial program. It may be online, I'll have to look and see. But
Okay.
it is a income guideline, no resources, would not have any other way to cover a burial.
Yeah, I'm just curious on the income guideline, what's that cutoff?
I can
Because-
share that with you. I don't have that on the top of my head, and
I
I
think
don't
we
want to
might need to
misquote.
start looking at changing that guideline because times have changed. So, thank you.
I think that's a BIA
Yeah,
guideline.
it is.
Speaker?
One other thing, the commissioners basically say that they do not have money to do it anymore. That is why they're doing it, or not doing it, I should say. And what they're doing now is the funeral homes are getting with the families, and they're saying, hey, if however many of you, 10 of you, can give X amount of dollars toward this burial, and that's how they're paying for the burials. Each family member is coughing up money to pay for the burial. So, we need to look at that, if there's any way possible to maybe include that in our costs if we can. It's been a long time, I think, since it's went up, since it's really went up, hasn't it? So, yeah.
The contract amount?
Yes,
Yeah, I don't have the exact date, but yeah, it's been quite a while, yeah.
okay. Well, it would really help us in Delaware County if we could get on that, and I know there's a lot of people that are just barely scraping to get by, and they've had to all pitch in to bury their loved ones, and a lot of times they're just either too nervous or too bashful to ask, so.
Anyone else? Go ahead, Theo.
On the clothing assistance, the new program and all that, is it been an up or down number-wise?
Well, you, really need, we'll have to pull, and I can give you those numbers next month, but see, the clothing assistance was offered for across the United States in the summertime, so it's definitely gonna be up. We'll have to pull the numbers and look for the reservation to compare to previous years, because it was offered to, throughout the
Right.
United States, so it's definitely gonna be up.
Be kind of interested on, they got the 2,000, how they would go about the clothing and, just not that big a deal, but I just thought, all
Yeah, I can provide you with that update next month, yeah.
right, thank you.
Danny Kelly.
Is it the EBT card? Is that going to be for I got an email the other day. Is that going to be through your department is this through another department where we provide cards for kids that in the summertime that might not be able to eat without the school lunches that's going to do this?
I don't know the specific program, but I'm thinking that is through WIC, maybe, through another program. That's not through Human Services.
Okay, thank you.
All right. No one else? Jennifer, appreciate you.
Thank you.
for always helping. Next, Department of Transportation and Infrastructure, Michael Lynn. I believe Billy Hicks is sitting in for him. How you doing, Billy? Turn your mic on right there. Turn your mic on right there.
Yeah, Mr. Lane couldn't be here today, so I'm here to answer questions for transportation and infrastructure. I believe you have a copy of our report, and be happy to try to answer those at this time.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Hicks? All right. Well, Billy, I appreciate you. You've always been a big help every time I've called.
You bet, no problem.
Keep it up.
Do we have 2 items on the agenda?
Matter of fact, you do. How about roads issues, public comments?
I don't have any, if you don't have any.
Right on.
And if you do have any comments, I'll probably have to get Michael or Andy to answer
I
them.
got you. All right. Well, Billy, we appreciate you. Have a good spring break.
You bet, you too, sir.
Next, we have Housing Services, Jerry Killer.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Councilman Crittenden is assisting me with passing out an update for you all. I wanted to give everyone an update on the Housing Jobs Sustainable Communities Act of 2019. This was a big thing that the chief did for us in 2019, where he put millions of dollars into housing rehab. So I wanted to give everyone an update because I think it's been a while since we've had any information put out on it.
Thank you, sir.
I gave mine up. I mean, I could talk from memory. Thank you, sir. So I'll just go through these slides with you real quick, if you don't mind. There's a lot of data in here. There's not a slide going to be on the screen. Everything's just right here on your paper. Prior to the act was passed in 2019. So prior to the act, I put some data together on the jobs that we did through housing rehab. We did, in the 3 years prior to the act, we did 125 rehab and replacement jobs. These numbers do not include our emergency jobs. We're just talking about the full rehabs and the replacements. Since the act and through the end of this fiscal year, we anticipate doing 251 of those jobs. So that's a big increase in that number. This is not only with Housing Jobs Sustainable Communities dollars, but this also includes our federal dollars. Keep in mind, when you think about those numbers, not only have we increased, which is great, but we also had a little pandemic in there where we didn't have some time to work. So the staff at Housing Rehab, the staff at Contracts, they should get a lot of credit for this because we've had a huge push to get these jobs done. There have been a total of 259 jobs, excuse me, either created or supported by this act. And we've got $11.6 million of it obligated or spent so far. And then I've broken down by each of your districts, so you can see in your districts how many are rehab and replacements by your district. Right now, 83% of the jobs are either in progress or under contract. We've got 15% are complete, and then we have a handful of problem files where we're working out some land issues with the homeowners. Some of the highlights from this program that we've done, again, we had to stop work in 2020 because of COVID. So we did a lot of exterior work during that time where we weren't actually entering the homes. But in March of 2015, so almost exactly 1 year ago on March 15th, we reestablished some guidelines so we could get back in the homes and get some work done. So the past year has been very busy. The next few months are going to be very busy for housing rehab. One of the highlights that we did is we revised the replacement home plan. So the replacement homes are a minimum of 2-bedroom with a garage and a safe room. So that really is something that the elders really appreciate, and they really like, they really go after that part. We have currently, this is the largest contracts for rehabs and replacements that the Housing Authority has ever done at one time. So that is, again, I have to give props to the staff in housing rehab and our contract staff, because they've put a lot of work into this over the past couple of years. And then the next few slides are just some pictures, just to show you some of the work that's been done. There's a couple of replacement homes, a couple of roofs that have been done. I did some before and afters for you, of some exterior work where we replaced the siding. There's the before and after of the back porch and the siding. So that just kind of gives you a little glimpse of some of the work that has been done. Are there any questions?
Go ahead, Councilman.
Boy, I hate being positive all the time. Yeah. Now, this is a big deal.
Absolutely.
A big deal. I mean,
Yeah.
2015 is when I staggered in here. But that's a big deal. It should be
Well,
applauded for
everything
sure.
goes to, thank you. But again,
betcha.
everything goes to, this is a vision of the chief, and so we are executing his vision to get rid of that backlog. So what this means is every Cherokee applicant who is elderly or disabled, who applied prior to 2019, who is determined eligible, will have their home, it's either done, it's in progress, or will be done by the end of this fiscal year. So, we're taking care of our elderly, we're taking care of our disabled citizens, and we continue to move on, so.
Yeah, and I'd like to echo, this was not COVID money. This is the money that, when Chief got elected and the council was on board, we approved this spending. And so it wasn't nothing that ARPA funds or whatever kind of funding we got through COVID. This was the decision that was made by Chief Hoskin and this council, and I commend our work on this. This is awesome stuff, long overdue.
It is very great. And I would like to point out again, this is all in addition to our emergency work. So all the phone calls that I get from every one of you sitting in here, in addition to the phone calls, we just get on a daily basis, we're averaging 7 to 10 new emergency applications daily. So that number in itself is on top of everything else that we've done through this act. So again, the staff are doing a great job, and, they deserve the recognition for that, but.
How difficult is it right now to get tarot vendors to do the smaller projects? Is that really our biggest hindrance right now?
You can even go as far as say, how hard is it to get anyone to do a small project right now?
Right.
It's not only tarot vendors, but it's everyone else. And
Yeah.
so the smaller jobs are hard. We try to use our force accountant crews to do, but they're so, I'm short-staffed there. I have jobs posted, so if anyone wants to come do some carpentry work for us.
Right.
But it's a difficult task, and my contracts and procurement staff spend so much time on the phone calling people, trying to get different contractors and vendors to take the jobs.
Yeah. Any questions for Jerry Killer, y'all?
Jerry, I just wondered about the letter that the offer that was made back in January. What
Yes, ma'am.
kind of a response did you get from that?
So the last number that I have was we mailed out, I believe there were over 800 letters that we mailed out, and we had 375 applicants that were interested in participating in the program. So we're currently working through those 375 to determine their eligibility and get them going.
Let me follow up real fast. Jerry, if, let's say we only have 400 that really bite on it, can we take the ones that have applied, new applicants, and offer them the same thing and just say, hey, since no one back here is taking the 50,000, if y'all want to, you're eligible, is that a possibility that could happen later on if not everybody uses that?
I think anything's a possibility.
There we go, man. Go ahead, Madeline.
Is there a fund for fixing driveways to to a home?
Yes, ma'am. So we used to have a specific driveway program, and we don't have a specific driveway program any longer, but we do still address those issues through emergency rehab.
Okay. All right, I'll pass that on to this person.
You tell them to give us a call.
Anyone else? Well, Jerry, that's it.
All right.
You have a good spring break.
Thank you all so much. You too.
We appreciate you. Old business, none pending. New business, none pending. Next meeting will be April 11th at 4 PM. I need a motion to adjourn. Go ahead, go ahead.
Now, who wants to be on the livestock and sports team, work groups? We're trying to get the date that we want to, so everybody can do. So if you'll kind of text me or before we go home, tell me when would be days that you definitely can't, and next week would be great if we could. So kind of be thinking about your dates you could come, and we'll try to set it up, okay? Thank you.
All right, we're adjourned.